Hi.
Hello.
We are here to talk to you today about why we view birth as dangerous. And there are a few reasons for this. One of them is that we are given by the media, and it's filtered into our subconscious, that birth is dangerous and inherently messy and painful and horrible. We're fed that. I can't think of a film where we see a really normal, beautiful, natural birth. Can you?
No, and I think it's because they can't really capture the hormones and the feelings behind that, the kind of gore and the mess that scares off people.
And also, they're not dramatic, so they're not good for films, and they're not good for media, because if it was the first, say, 9 hours of my birth, I was really just squatting and rocking and wandering around and having some gas and air and chatting to my husband,
Wandering to the toilet and coming back, and it was
eating, drinking, but it was almost unremarkable.
yeah.
So we have that, and our subconscious therefore believes that birth is dangerous because that's what it's been fed. Also, people tell the dramatic and gory parts of their birth stories. People who have unremarkable births, I mean, obviously every birth is extraordinary to the person, but people who have unremarkable births where not a lot really happens, there's not a lot really to say about it other than the end bit, really, where the baby comes.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime, like we've just said, in these unremarkable births. So the main event of that isn't an emergency, it's just the baby arriving.
Yeah.
So I also think that language plays a huge part in scaring people about birth. So the idea of kind of crowning, or the jokes around your favourite pub burning down.
The word contraction even is quite a negative
negative
word.
We do a lot of work in hypnobirthing around neuro-linguistic programming and kind of reversing that process, because your subconscious is full of these fearful statements that have been fed to you through over a lifetime. So it's about reversing those as well.
And it's about looking at normal births. So we watch birth videos, and we don't see birth. So because we don't live with our mothers, our aunts, our sisters when they're birthing, because it has become a more medicalised event, which is changing now, I think, a bit with home births, but because it's an event where you go off to hospital, you have the baby and you bring them back, we don't see that. Whereas in 200 years ago, we would have seen birth a lot. It would have been relatively normal. The same with breastfeeding. We find that very new, and we have to learn all the positions and things like that, because breastfeeding is something that's been shut away for a long time, or people try and cover up. That's changing as well now, which is great, but we don't see normal births. We think of them as medicalised. I always say to Tasha about, we just see the photo of the birth partner carrying the baby out of the ward, and it's, oh, we've had a baby, which is amazing news, obviously, but you don't really see, unless you seek them out, positive photos, positive videos, and all the things around birth that make us consider it normal.
And I think that a lot of that comes from the fact that from the moment that we're pregnant, our control is taken from us, because you tell a medical professional, maybe your GP, that you're pregnant, and the first thing they do is calculate your due date, regardless of your cycle length or any individual circumstances. It's based on this generic formula, and then everything goes off of that one due date.
Size of baby, when baby should be coming, what's a normal due date. Whereas we know through hypnobirthing and through everything that we teach that gestation is different as well. Some people always give birth at 39 weeks. Culturally, it's different for different races, and you can't base it on just one calculation.
No, and I think that lack of control then, and then surrendering it to the medical professional, makes some people feel scared, like there's a right way to do this, and that right way is the medical professional's way, and that makes you feel like you should be doing it their way, no matter how they tell you. Probably the biggest thing that people are most scared of is the pain. And
that's what we see in the media. People screaming, people shouting, legs up in stirrups. And we are all about reframing that, and that's what our course is all about. It's about changing the way you view birth through learning about it, through actually learning what the process is, learning that there isn't a, for instance, specific due date for everyone. You know, you're not actually likely to give birth on your due date, it's only 4%, and that there are a lot of different variables that come into play when there is a birth. And we also give you a toolkit so that you can manage the surges and what you're feeling, and that's really important as well, because that helps you with control.
Yeah, and making you feel like you're not going to slip into fight or flight, which then spirals the pain, and so you feel out of control.
So hopefully this has been helpful today. It's all about retraining your brain to think that birth is a normal, natural, physiological event rather than a medical event that needs medical professionals. Of course, we are very lucky to have medical professionals, and sometimes we need them, but also sometimes we don't. We hope that you give us a follow and have a listen. We have lots of other topics coming up, so we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.